Hey, sports and health fans, Coach Frank here, and I have something very important to tell you. Something that could actually save you from a world of health problems and get you on the road to true ideal health and wellness. I want to tell you about something in healthcare that is very obvious and logical, but that most people miss, something that prolongs painful and uncomfortable conditions, even elevating them to lifetime status. I can't tell you how many times in practice I've seen people living with things because of this one overlooked factor that could have been their road to recovery, even attaining their optimum level of health, wellness, and fitness. And it will shock you how simple it is and how many times you overlooked it. So get ready to learn about how to end what I call dead-end health and get on the open road to your ideal. Dial in because we're going to get to all that and more right after this. Stick around.
Game on, sports, fitness, and health fans, with another episode of the Sporting Good Posture Digital Radio Experience. Gear up for Coach Frank's advice from the sidelines as he helps you crush your game, no matter what sports, health, or fitness game you play.
Hey, this is Coach Frank. I'm sporting good posture. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach, what do you got for us today?
Welcome back to another episode of Sporting Good Posture. This is Coach Frank, your local doctor of chiropractic here at Ideal Health and Wellness Center in Franklin. You know, I got to thinking the other day, I realized that I know quite a bit that most people don't. Now, that's not a commentary on what it takes to get a doctorate in any medical field. It's more about the design, mechanics, structure, and function of the human body. I realize it's not that people aren't doctors that leads them down the wrong path of wellness, but that they don't understand the human body and how it functions. And so medicine gets misinterpreted, and we get this kind of situation where people end up with pain, tension, illness, and stress they didn't bargain for very unnecessarily. And I really mean that because of one very obvious factor that no one seems to know is significant. It's a dead end to health with no possibility of return. It has a name, and I'm going to share that with you and show you how to turn the tables on it in just a moment, right after this short message.
Hey, Jeremy. Wow, really pumping that iron. Getting buff for summer?
Hey, Haley. Wow, you look amazing. I guess the gym's working out pretty well for you. Wish it was for me. Trying to lose some weight, but no matter what I do, I can't seem to take it off.
Oh, I've been there. I've tried tons of diets and routines and just couldn't take the weight off no matter what I did. It was really depressing.
Well, you obviously did something right. What's your secret?
Actually, my chiropractor.
Your chiropractor? Really?
I was so surprised, but it totally worked. He was doing something called the ChiroThin program.
The ChiroThin program?
The ChiroThin program is designed like no other. Supervised by licensed doctors of chiropractic, ChiroThin is based on your body's natural structure. Following Mother Nature's blueprint, ChiroThin gets to the bottom of all the reasons people have difficulty losing weight and puts you on the road to your ideal body. And that means the ideal you.
Hey, Jeremy, you're looking pretty buff. Did you check out the ChiroThin program?
You bet, Haley. Thanks for turning me on to it. For my girlfriend and mom, too. We all had a breakthrough. Can't believe we finally lost the weight.
Well, looks like my loss was your gain.
If losing weight is a challenge, get evaluated today for free to see if you are fit for the ChiroThin program at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. Don't just get thin, get ChiroThin. Call 615-567-6683.
Okay, so what the heck am I going on about this dead end to health? What is it and what can you do about it? Well, there's a difference between diagnosis and setting a label with symptoms. The difference is that you now have something that you need to find out. So if you get labeled with some symptoms, just say you have migraines, you have obviously headaches, you may have some vision problems, some light sensitivity, some sound sensitivity. Somebody gives you that diagnosis, and typically they'll just hand you some pills to take. But really, a true diagnosis is more of finding an answer so that you actually have why this is happening. So you really got to look into, okay, I have migraines, but where is it coming from? So let me give you a few examples here so you understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about. In my practice, I've seen headaches and migraines, probably some of the most common things I've seen over the last 15 years. And a few people that have come in over the last number of years have had different causes for their headaches and migraines. Let me give you an example. So I had somebody come in and they had been in a car accident. It wasn't a bad car accident, but they had a problem with their neck and their head. They didn't even get hit very hard, but it was just enough that it knocked some things out of place. So we took some x-rays, we figured out what was going on, and we started treating them. And then sure enough, the migraines and the headaches and the neck pain started going away. We used some laser on them. We did some decompression and some adjustments, and they got a lot better. Now, I've also had some people that have had car accidents where it wasn't the main cause of their headaches. So it was part of it, but it wasn't the full reason why they were having it. So I had somebody else come in that was having headaches. They had been in multiple car accidents. So I wanted to look a little bit deeper into why that was happening. So we actually looked into what they were eating, drinking, and just what kind of supplements they were taking, what kind of medications they were on, just to kind of see what else might be contributing to it. And sure enough, we found some things that they were eating and drinking and some supplements and medicines they were taking that were making the headaches worse. Once we figured out and kind of isolated which ones they were, we were able to then eliminate those from their diet. And then with the headaches getting better and the chiropractic we were doing that program, it helped them get better. On top of that, we also did a weight loss plan with them, because what I find is that if the toxins are built up in the system, you got to get them out. It's kind of like you have everything full in your kitchen, right? You got a full cupboard full of food, you got a full refrigerator, but you still go shopping and you continue to buy more food. Well, there's no place to put all that food. So now you're kind of, packed to the gills, basically. So as far as toxin goes, at some point you have to detox your body. It's good to do that really every few months, but even if you can just once a year do that. So we have a program called ChiroThin, and it was actually developed by a chiropractor. If you go back to season 4, episode 4 of the podcast, you can hear me interview the founder of the ChiroThin program. As far as that program goes, we have some tweaks that we do on your diet to help you detox and help you lose weight in inches and keep it off, but also do a metabolic reset. In the process of that, you're actually detoxing your body. So as we added that to their program as well, and that really helped them for the long term. So not only do we get the short-term relief of the headaches and the neck pain, we got the long-term relief because we also figured out the diet was doing that, the toxins and everything that was built up in there was able to get flushed out. So now we actually had a more permanent solution to why they were having these problems. On top of that, we've had some patients with back pain. As a chiropractor, back pain is probably one of the most common things that I see. And it's one of the most affected areas because we sit a lot, is what people think. But again, if you go back through the timeline of events in your life, you have birthing process is very traumatic. You have your childhood, learning how to walk, learning how to crawl, walking finally, then falling a lot of times, and then playing sports, being active, finishing school, working a job. You got to remember there's a lifetime of misalignments that happen because of small traumatic things that happen along your life. Some of them may be bigger than others, but each day when you sit in that chair at work now, you're compounding the situation. You're putting that pressure on your back. So we finally went through some people that were having this back pain. We traced their steps, we traced their timeline, but also figured out what are they doing now that's contributing the most to that. So we found that getting them a sit-stand desk was part of the solution, on top of getting adjusted and changing their pillow at home. So they were sleeping on a better pillow. They had better sleep. They weren't their neck wasn't out of position when they were sleeping. And they started having better posture because they were doing the sit-stand desk as opposed to sitting 8 hours a day and kind of slumped over in their chair. So my point is with all this, it comes down to really finding the reasons why this is happening. Because if you just give somebody a label and some symptoms and no diagnosis and no true finding of it, and if you kind of pigeonhole them into one thing that you thought it was, it may not always be that one thing. If you kind of get a whole outlook on all the things that be causing the problems, then you'll really find the true cause, and then the real solution will happen right after that. The other thing I want to talk about is all the acronyms that have come out over the last number of years. Everything's an acronym medically. You got GERD, you got COPD, you got PTSD, and the list goes on and on about acronyms. As far as your life goes, it's important to not allow yourself to become a label. Just because you may have these symptoms, just because some doctor told you that this is what's going on doesn't mean that that has to be the label for the rest of your life. It's not a death sentence, okay? And it shouldn't be, because regardless of what's going on, there may be a point where you need to take some medications for these things before you truly figure out what the causes are. But it's important to never stop looking. It's important to always know that your body can improve no matter what age you are. Your body has the ability to rejuvenate and regenerate. Don't ever forget that, because if you give up, then you will become that label and you will end up in that dead end. But if you always look for a solution, you always try to find the real cause, you always try to shoot for better health, you have a chance to recover. You have a chance to get off those medications. You have a chance to actually find the cause and fix it more permanently. The real way of diagnosing involves asking why. Instead of just putting initials and a name on something, go one step further and ask why and what the real diagnosis is. Chiropractic and our ChiroThin program do exactly that. Chiropractic is based on what's going on with your body. It's based on the true structure and function and finding the cause of the problem. That's what chiropractic is based on. It's based on removing interference in the body so that the body is more efficient. ChiroThin does the same thing. It removes the toxins. It gets your body back on track. It does a metabolic reset to allow your body to reset itself so that it can hold that new weight. The worst thing about doing any diet program is when you do the program and then within 2 months you gain all the weight back. That's the most frustrating thing. That's one of the reasons why we do the ChiroThin program, because I find that rebound effect doesn't happen because we do the weight loss the right way. The other programs that you can look up on YouTube, the problem is with that, you don't have a set goal, you don't have a coach, you don't have a structured plan, and most of the time you're losing the weight and you're gaining it right back. So you're kind of spinning your wheels. Nothing's more frustrating than putting that kind of time in and gaining all the weight back. I've been there. I know what you're talking about. And that's why we do the things the way we do at our office, because that doesn't happen. So my advice is the first step is to look over the timeline and realize if there are things that need to be looked at, and specifically look for troubles that you've had, maybe losing weight or with back pain, knee pain, neck pain, whatever it might be. But the first step is just getting screened. We got to find out why it's happening before we can know how to fix it. Just get checked out, and I'm here to help you do that. Also, like I said, don't start a diet plan without first finding out why you're having problems losing weight. A lot of times I find that the chiropractic issues that come up are one of the reasons why people have problems losing weight. And a lot of times those are the main reasons why, once they fix those, they're able to lose weight and keep it off. The main reason I named my office Ideal Health and Wellness Center is because I'm trying to help you get back to your ideal health. Ideal means that's how your body is supposed to function, as opposed to what it is functioning like right now. So avoid labels and just remember to simply ask why. And how do you ask why? Just hit me up for a screening. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. DM me there, tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you what I think. And I'll always point you in the right direction for your next step. Remember, the coach's door is always open and ready to get to the real cause of the problem. This is Coach Frank. I'm sporting good posture. How about you?
The Sporting Good Posture Podcast is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health Wellness Center. All content copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Executive producer Frank Sardella. Coach Frank appears courtesy of Ideal Health Wellness Center in Franklin. For more information, visit sportinggoodposture.com or follow Coach on Instagram at Ideal Health and Wellness Center.
Science
Chiropractic stories
about people,
beings out of this world,
coming down from other planets. Get out of town, Frank. I didn't know you did anything creative.